Ren fairs come in all shapes and sizes. Some are like small weekend fairs at a temporary location, and some are huge multi-weekend events at a permanent location. Regardless of the size, you can expect to find shops and stalls selling so many different items, from clothing to candles, jewelry and artwork and weapons, leather goods, books, and so much more. And that's why Ren fairs can be dangerous.
Because you spend all your money on cool stuff.
You can expect food and drink, of course, but I would recommend bringing a reusable water bottle because A, it's better for the environment, and B, buying plastic water bottles can get pretty expensive. Ren fairs are known for their time-appropriate foods like turkey legs and meat pies, and their drinks like mead. But most of the time, they'll have normal food too. And sometimes they even have food trucks. Most of the time, there will be people dressed up and walking around in character. Kinda like Disney World, except instead of Mickey Mouse, it's a drunk pirate king that sounds exactly like Jack Sparrow. That was very specific, but if you've been to a Renaissance fair, you know what I'm talking about. You can interact with these characters, take pictures with them, but always ask for consent first. Don't just go around taking photos of people. And these people can be super entertaining most of the time. And of course, I can't forget there will be lots of live entertainment. Comedy skits, acrobats, musicians, fortune tellers, games, archery, sword fighting, jousting, magicians, jugglers, and sometimes there's educational stuff like falconry or beekeeping. The biggest question I've been asked is, do I have to dress up? The answer?
Yes, or they'll put you in the stockade.
Just kidding. Wear your normal clothes if that's what you're comfortable in. It's not necessary to dress up, and it doesn't have to be period accurate. I went to a Renaissance fair a couple months ago, and Boba Fett from Star Wars was walking around, and I was like, what are you doing here? The most important thing is to be comfortable and dress for the weather. There's usually a lot of walking involved, so comfy shoes are also important. Speaking of the weather, our Ren fairs down here in the south are normally all-day events, and it can get really hot. Like, you need to be aware of heat stroke hot. So make sure you're dressed appropriately. Keep in mind you'll be outside, so you may need an umbrella or a poncho. Make sure you bring cash, because most vendors do take card, but some don't. Plus, many of the performers ask for tips, and a little cash goes a long way in tipping your performers. Last thing, don't get overwhelmed and take your time. A Renaissance fair is essentially just street theater at its best, and you're part of the show. If you buy into the fun and go into it with an open mind, it can definitely make it a memorable and worth it experience. If you like this kind of content, make sure you're subscribed so that you're notified when I post new videos. As always, be kind to one another, and I'll see you guys in the next video.